Hello, good morning, boys. Section I and J of class 10. This is a video recording for you, and I am going to take up the first chapter of the book Footprints Without Feet. And the name of the chapter is A Triumph of Surgery, written by James Harriet. Now, main characters of the story. There are three main characters of the story. Mrs. Pumphrey, the mistress of the house, then Tricky, the dog, and one more is there, Dr. Harriet, and he is also the narrator of the book. Now the story, brief introduction of the chapter or of the story. A Triumph of Surgery is an interesting story written by James Harriet. The story reflects the silly and sentimental behavior of a rich woman, Mrs. Pumphrey, towards her pet Tricky. She pampers and overfeeds her dog. As a consequence, the dog falls seriously ill and has to be sent to a veterinary surgeon. The story tells us how the dog is cured without any surgery, and the whole narrative or the whole story is full of fun and humor. Now, the summary of the story. Tricky is a pampered and overfed dog kept by Mrs. Pumphrey. One day, the narrator, who is a veterinary surgeon and whose name is Dr. Harriet or Mr. Harriet, sees Mrs. Pumphrey strolling around the street with her dog. She went for a morning walk and she is strolling around the street with the dog. Mr. Harriet is shocked at the dog's appearance. He is looking overweight and ill. His eyes are red and his tongue is hanging out. He is exhausted and tired. This all has happened because Mrs. Pumphrey feeds him all unhealthy food and also in large quantity. Due to this, he has become fat like a bolted sausage, and he has become lethargic too. But Mrs. Pumphrey thinks he is sick and she seeks help from the vet doctor. Mr. Harriet understands well what exactly is wrong with Tricky and cures him with exercise and a healthy diet. The story actually, this is very important, the story actually focuses on how excess of everything is bad and how over pampering can lead to disaster. The story has been presented in a humorous way, but it brings to light how some people are ignorant of the healthy ways to groom their pets. Some people even treat their children in the same manner and regret afterwards. Now, just to justify the title, why the writer has given this title to this story, A Triumph of Surgery. The title of the story, A Triumph of Surgery, is ironic. You know, irony is a literary device. It is a figure of speech. So, A Triumph of Surgery, this title given to this story, is ironic and aptly suited to the situation. As Tricky, a greedy dog, falls sick because of being over pampered and overfed. As a result, Tricky becomes fat and lazy. Mrs. Pumphrey seeks medical help as she does not realize that Tricky's state, that condition, was due to her own doings. It was her fault only. She did not realize this thing. She thinks that something is drastically wrong with Tricky. In spite of repeated warnings given by the narrator, means the veterinary doctor, she had failed to give a healthy grooming to Tricky. She does not realize that the dog needs a disciplined style of life to live, and as it is needed by human beings also. When Tricky is kept in the guidance of the veterinary doctor and he recovers from his illness, then Mrs. Pumphrey considers it as a triumph of surgery. Triumph means victory. She gives all the credit to the medical science and she says that it is a triumph of surgery. Ironically, the doctor has used no medicine or surgery to cure the dog. Dr. Harriet has used no medicine, no injections, no surgery. Upon whom? Tricky. What he did only? He only made him to do certain exercises. He has made him to go for physical activities. And he has put a good control on his diet. This much he did, and Tricky was completely cured. He was completely cured from his all ailments. To cure the dog, what he did? He had done no medication, no surgery, nothing else. It is just a disciplined life of Tricky which cures him completely. Now, this is the main theme, summary, or the story of this text, A Triumph of Surgery. So, my dear children, you must have understood. You give a reading to the chapter twice, and then in my Zoom meeting, I have discussed all the 7 questions and answers. So, this will be your homework to do all the questions and answers given after the text in your books, in your textbooks, and try to do them. Do them in your fair notebook, because when the classes will resume, we will check your notebooks. Okay, so all the best. Keep healthy, be at home, and take very good care of yourself. Thank you.